are now listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you the current events and issues. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host unless otherwise noted. This podcast may contain some quotations, images, and/or excerpts from copyright material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. This is the News Report, and I am your host, Tony. Welcome to all my new listeners and all of my day ones. I hope your day is going pretty good today. This is your news report, and we will be discussing today the new COVID-19 relief package, what Dr. Fauci told our kids, and we will also talk about the new strain of COVID that has surfaced. So this is your news report for today. Let's get into it. First up, everybody wants to know about this relief package. Well, it was passed late yesterday. They finally reached a deal. The COVID-19 relief package, $600 stimulus checks, $300 bonus for federal unemployment benefits, and, well, yeah, we'll just get into it, and then I'll give my opinion on this. Lawmakers struck a nearly $900 billion COVID-19 stimulus deal. That includes another round of stimulus checks and badly needed jobless benefits for struggling Americans. Now, this ended a long standoff in Washington with one of the biggest rescue bills in history. Now, after months of this going on, negotiations came down to the wire as 12 million people are set to lose unemployment benefits the day after Christmas. Now, this new deal includes restarting a $300 boost to the federal unemployment insurance benefit, extending eviction for renters for an unspecified amount of time, and a $600 direct payment to most Americans. Now, even though lawmakers reached a deal, some jobless Americans could see their unemployment benefits lapse, since it may take weeks for aid to reach them due to outdated state systems. Americans still face lapse in aid, and that's a big issue. Now, the measure will be tied to a $1.4 trillion must-pass spending bill that will fund federal agencies and programs through September 30th, the end of the fiscal year. So, how does this really help? Well, it's been said that these unemployment is only going to last until January. Now, they're about to go for a break. Everybody's going on break for Christmas and the holiday, and they come back in January. So, with this just getting passed now, it's going to take weeks to kick in, and they're going to be out. So, talks are going to have to start back with the Biden administration. How well that's going to go over is a huge question mark, with people already about to lose their homes and vehicles, and people have lost their jobs. This thing is going to kind of kick in late. If they'd have done this months ago, they may have been able to save some people from becoming homeless, losing their vehicles and those sorts of things, because people's bills are unpaid right now, and they are way past due on this aid. So it's a very, very sticky situation for this. And with this being an emergency situation, you would think they would have stepped it up and went ahead and got this done, but they've had so many challenges. So the question becomes, what else is in this package? Well, the package includes an extension of the Small Business Paycheck Protection Program, which expanded eligibility to local newspapers, broadcasters, and nonprofits. It will direct another $20 billion to small business grants and $15 billion to live event venues. The measure increased funding for vaccine distribution as well as coronavirus testing. It also provided $13 billion in increased benefits for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP if you will. So that is what else is in this package. Now, the legislation, as far as the eviction situation, now the latest legislation extended it through January 31st. Now, the loss in jobless aid and other stimulus relief would have put 30 to 40 million people at risk of eviction, as the previous legislation was set to expire in January. So this is a very fine line. Very fine line. And I really think that a lot of people are going to kind of fall through the cracks on this one. But this new package is set for everyone who is under that 75,000 mark on income. So hopefully there's going to be some help there. Now, over to the other story. What Fauci told our children. Well, Dr. Anthony Fauci, while being, should I say, thoughtful of the children, he tells them not to worry. He gave Santa Claus the COVID-19 vaccine. So he's trying to put children's minds and hearts at rest about their concerns whether Santa is going to be able to deliver their gifts this year. Now, here's my opinion on that part. Santa Claus is not real. No matter how much over the years they have wanted to say that he is actually a man and that he is actually real, I've always felt that you really shouldn't lie to children. And this is just a lie on top of a lie. And I really think that it was thoughtful, but probably should not have done, because kids are going to grow up thinking that he's real until they find out he's not, and they're going to feel some type of way. And then you have the CDC on top of that lying, saying they've given this vaccine to a fictitious character. It's a lie on top of a lie, and I don't really think they should have done that one. Every parent has a choice whether or not to tell their kids that Santa is real, but to include government in that lie as if there are not enough lies being told to our children already. Now, that is my opinion. Everyone's free to do what they choose, but it's just a thought, and it was just my opinion on that. But I don't think that should have been done. Now, on to this new strain of virus. As if we're not going through enough already in this pandemic. Now, COVID-19 is already a mutated situation. It's a mutated virus. And realistically speaking, it was bound to mutate once again. Especially since people are not exactly taking the necessary precautions. There are some who are, but there are a lot of people who are not, which is enabling this virus. It's going to keep it on the go and moving and getting stronger. And the more people it hits, my opinion is the more it's going to mutate. Now, Britain cut off by Canada and others as new COVID strain spreads. The United Kingdom found itself increasingly cut adrift from the outside world Monday as countries took drastic actions to stem a new mutant coronavirus strain from spreading worldwide. Almost 24 countries, including Canada, France, Germany, Israel, Iran, Colombia, and Morocco, have suspended flights from the UK for 48 hours or more. Saudi Arabia has closed its borders and suspended all flights regardless of destination or origin. Now, these places their officials are grappling and struggling with how to respond to the variant, which experts estimate is 70% more passable than others in circulation. Now, at England's main port of Dover, already gridlocked before this weekend as a symptom of the country's imminent uncoupling with the European Union, freight officials warned that the new travel bans could wreak havoc, on supply chains of food and goods days before Christmas. France's Transport Minister Jean-Baptiste moved to address these concerns, tweeting that in the coming hours, Europe will set up health control measures to allow traffic flows to resume. Even so, there has already been chaos on highways, train stations, as well as grocery stores. People have been packing onto trains to avoid new domestic restrictions announced by Prime Minister Boris Johnson and stocking up on essentials in fear of possible shortages. Though governments around the world are racing to prevent the spread of the recently identified COVID-19 strain that already appears to have happened, with it being detected in Netherlands, Denmark, Belgium, and Iceland. The European Center for Disease Prevention and Control said in a briefing Monday that it appeared the new strain was significantly more passable than previously circulating variants. It is far from the first new variant of this coronavirus identified this year, and experts say that there is no evidence it is more deadly or that vaccines won't work against it. Now, it's not clear whether the virus mutated in the UK or was merely detected there first, thanks to the country's world-class genomic analysis facilities. Now, scientists first warned the government about the new strain on Friday, and by going over past tests, they say it has been circulating at least as early as September. The United States is not among the countries to close their borders, with officials resisting calls to follow suit. Now, today, the variant is getting on a plane and landing at JFK. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo told reporters Sunday, referring to the New York's John F. K. International Airport. How many times in life do you have to make the same mistake before you learn? Governor Cuomo, I have to give you kudos for that, because I kind of agree with that statement right there. If we stop the excess traveling, we can stop carrying this virus back and forth. At this rate, we'll never get rid of COVID. And I know as much as people want to celebrate, can we just stay at home and celebrate being alive and not making other people sick? I mean, life is more about living than it is celebrating and fellowshipping and getting together to party. At some point, we have to realize that preservation of life is far more important than visitation. It really is. In order to stop this thing, we are going to have to buckle down. Seriously, buckle down and stop the unnecessary traveling and celebratory functions, and it's too many people, and we're putting too many at risk. Because you got all these people that are wanting to fly here, fly there, fly here, and it's only spreading it. We've already seen one person pass out on a plane. I mean, TMZ showed it. They had the video. They showed it. And this man, unfortunately, lost his life to this. He didn't make it. And it seems that it's unimportant to a lot of people to preserve life, which is very interesting considering everyone wants to be happy about life, but now, as I was saying, we must take necessary precautions to stop the transmission of the COVID virus. Now that we have the new mutated strand, we have to be even more cautious and prioritize. Now, under the travel coronavirus bans imposed by President Donald Trump, most foreign nationals who have been to Europe in the past 14 days are prevented from entering the U.S., but this does not apply to U.S. citizens, legal residents, or their family members under 21. For the UK itself, already struggling with among the worst rates of COVID-19 deaths and the impending logistical chaos of Brexit, the closures have reduced it to a pariah state overnight. Now, it's said that imposing a strict new lockdown on 2/3 of the country. Johnson blamed the appearance of the new variant, but experts have been warning for a month that his plan to allow people to mix indoors for 5 days around Christmas would lead to more cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. So this thing is really, it's already gotten out of hand, and we really have to be careful. And to be honest, celebrating Christmas is not a necessity, because the virus is now totally out of control. So let's do our best to take care of ourselves, prioritize, and make necessities be our first priority. And preservation of life is definitely one of those. So wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask. And if it's not important, don't go. If it's not important, don't go. Importance is key. If it's a doctor's appointment that you have to be there, go. You have to make a trip to the grocery store? Okay, go. Take precautions and go. You have a job that you have to be there to go to? Okay, go. But other than that, if it's not important, just don't go. You want to be able to live to see next year's holiday. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands. It's just that simple. And don't go if you don't have to. And let's kick this virus in the butt. Seriously. You have been listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you the current events and issues. Thank you for taking the time to listen to